Speaker, I would like to acknowledge all the brave veterans here today and thank them for their service to this country. I grew up in the height of the Troubles in Northern Ireland in a deeply patriotic household with a father who served in the British Army. I remember watching the news when the IRA blew up Lord Mountbatten in 1979 and the effect it had on my father. When the IRA blew up Erie Neve again in 1979 at the gates of Westminster. I remember watching the horrific footage of 11 soldiers and 7 horses blown up in Hyde Park in 1982. I remember watching the news when the IRA tried to blow up Mrs. Thatcher in 1984 at the Grand Hotel in Brighton, killing 5 innocent people. Watching the news when they bombed the Baltic Exchange in the City of London in 1992, killing 3, injuring 91 with Semtex, the biggest bomb to be detonated on mainland Britain since World War II. Watching the news when they bombed central Manchester in 1996, wreaking havoc and injuring 200 innocent civilians, and there were many more. But I was only watching the news on the television. What I, like so many of us voting on this bill today, have no experience of is the horrors on the ground that our brave veterans faced in this war against terrorism. Like so many of our veterans, my father did not speak of his tours in Northern Ireland. He did not speak of what he did or what he saw. He did not speak of the risks he took. It was simply his job and his duty. My father is no longer with us, but I know he is watching me make this speech, watching me speak on behalf of our brave veterans, many of whom are watching these proceedings today, watching me speak out as to the injustice of them facing prosecution for simply following orders. These brave men serve their Queen, their country, and their regiments without question. They risk their lives to protect us, and yet now, in their retirement years, they are facing prosecution from this Labour government and their shameful Northern Ireland Troubles Bill. The Good Friday Agreement was undoubtedly a historic achievement. But I remember watching the television with my parents when the Queen shook hands with Martin McGuinness and finding it so hard to watch. Watching the prosecutions of our veterans when IRA terrorists were given comfort letters and immunity from prosecution has been equally hard to stomach. And the existence of the public coroner's court in this legislation to appease Republicans is nothing short of enabling show trials to demonise our veterans. All applications should be heard by the Legacy Commission and the Legacy Commission alone. This legislation is wrong, it's unfair, and moreover, it will dissuade young men and women from considering a career in the armed forces at a time when we are already struggling to recruit. We have benefited from years of relative peace in this country, but now more than ever, the government needs to be prepared for hostilities, needs to be prepared to defend this country and its citizens. In a recent joint letter to the Prime Minister, 9 4-star generals said that with this legislation, British soldiers need not worry only about the enemy in front, but the lawyers behind. How powerful are those